Hi everyone, today we're going to talk about lesson 63, multiplying fractions. So far we've added and subtracted fractions, and when we do that, we are adding and subtracting pieces that are the same size. Remember, when we add and subtract, the denominator always has to be the same. Say I had 3/8 plus 4/8. Because my denominators are the same, eighths, these pieces are the same size, and so I can add them together. However, when we multiply, the sizes of the pieces change. So you can multiply fractions that have any denominator. They do not have to be the same. So let's first think about this problem that I'm going to give you. If I want to know how much is 1/2 of 1/2. Okay, I want to know how much this is. Well, 1/2 of 1/2, this of here tells me to multiply. Okay, if I was to draw a picture, here's my first half, and I want to know what 1/2 of this 1/2 is. So I cut this 1/2 in half, and here is my answer. 1/2 of 1/2 is 1/4. I can show that in multiplication because I multiply straight across. So 1 times 1 equals 1, and 2 times 2 equals 4. So 1/2 of multiply 1/2 equals 1/4. Notice that the pieces are getting smaller when I multiply fractions. 1/4 is much smaller than 1/2. It's half of it. When I'm multiplying fractions, I'm actually making the pieces smaller. All right, let's look at example 1. So example 1 says, Colvin found 1/4 of a veggie quiche in the refrigerator and ate half of it. Write a fraction of the whole quiche, or what fraction of the whole quiche did Colvin not eat? Okay, so, or did Colvin eat? Let me read that correctly. Colvin found 1/4 of a veggie quiche in the refrigerator. So I'm going to draw a picture of 1/4 of my quiche. Then Colvin ate half of it. What fraction of the whole quiche did Colvin eat? So we need to figure out, if I was to make the rest of my quiche here. Okay, so here's the rest of my quiche. Here's the 1/4 that was left, but he ate half of that 1/4. So we need to figure out what this fraction was. Well, if I was to take all of my 1/4s and cut them into half, I would now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces. So he ate 1 of those 8ths. So how do I show that in a multiplication problem? Well, he has 1/4. He ate half of it. So remember that of just tells us to multiply. Okay, 1/4, or he ate 1/2 of 1/4. So I'm going to multiply straight across. 1 times 1 equals 1, and 4 times 2 equals 8. So he ate 1/8 of that quiche. Okay, so here I see it in my picture. He ate 1/8 of that quiche, and over here I have multiplied it. Remember that if you see the word of, 1/4 of half, or 1/2 of 1/4, it means to multiply. Let's look at example 2. What fraction is 1/2 of 3/4? So remember, this word of tells me to multiply. So 1/2 of 3/4. So I'm going to start by multiplying. 1 times 3 equals 3, and 2 times 4 equals 8. So 3/8 is 1/2 of 3/4. Now let's look at that in a picture. So here's my circle. Okay, this fourth doesn't exist. Okay, and so here I have my 3/4. I can either do two things. I can either cut my 3/4 directly in half, or I can cut each quarter into half. So I'm going to cut each quarter into half. Okay? So this is half of that quarter. This is half of that second quarter. And this is half of that third quarter. Now I know when I divide quarters in halves, they each equal an eighth. So I have 1/8 here, I have 1/8 here, and I have 1/8 here. I still have the other eighths left over because I'm cutting it in half. So I have 1, 2, 3/8. So this is the quick multiplication way, and this is the picture kind of explaining how we got there. Okay, let's look at example 3. Okay, example 3. What fraction of the whole square is shaded? Okay, so fraction, we're looking at how many squares there are. So I have one share that's been shaded out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1/8 of the square of the whole square has been shaded. Problem A. Problem B, what is the area of the shaded rectangle? So I see that my whole square is 1 inch tall by 1 inch wide. But this little area is a 1/2 inch tall and a 1/4 inch wide. So in order to find the area of this shaded area, we're going to multiply, because area equals length times width. So my length, 1/4, times my width, 1/2. I multiply straight across. 1 times 1 is 1. 4 times 2 is 8. So I have 1/8 inches squared. Remember, this is area. And area, the units are always squared. So my area is 1/8 inches squared, which happens to be the same as what fraction of the whole is shaded, was also 1/8. Okay, let's look at example 4. Okay, a nickel is what fraction of a dime? Well, I know that a nickel is worth 5 cents. I know that a dime is worth 10 cents. So the nickel becomes my numerator and the dime becomes my denominator. However, I can reduce this because I know that 5/2 is equivalent to, or 5/10, excuse me, is equivalent to 1/2. So a nickel is half of a dime. B, a dime is what fraction of a dollar? Well, a dime is worth 10 cents. A dollar is worth 100 cents. So my fraction is 10/100ths. However, this can be reduced. 10 divided by 100 equals 1/10. So a dime is 1/10 of a dollar. I also know this because it takes one dime. There are 10 dimes in a dollar. So 1 dime would be 1/10 of that. C, a nickel is what fraction of a dollar? Well, a nickel is worth 5 cents out of 100 cents. Now, I can either divide 5 into 100, or how many nickels are there in a dollar? There are 20 nickels in a dollar. So 1 nickel would be 1/20th of a dollar. So the answers to part A through C show that 1/2 of 1/10 is what fraction? All right, so we're going to take 1/2 of times 1/10 equals what? So this shows that a nickel is half of a dime and a dime is 1/10 of a dollar. So half of 1/10 equals 1 times 1 is 1 and 2 times 10 is 20. So what this is showing is that a nickel is half of a dime is 1/10 of a dollar, half of 1/10 is even smaller, it is 1/20th. Okay, that's it for your, oh, nope, lesson example 5, excuse me. One more. Multiply 2/3 times 4/5. Okay? 2/3 times 4/5. We multiply straight across. Numerator times numerator. 2 times 4 equals 8. And denominator times denominator. 3 times 5 equals 15. So 2/3 times 4/5 equals 8/15. All right, now that's it. Off to your lesson practice, and I will see you in the morning.